Ladies and gentlemen, dear pupils, welcome to a new TV lesson designed for fourth year secondary education. Today, as you know, we continue presenting lessons, English lessons I mean, for the fourth year secondary education, of course. And today's lesson is gonna be about lesson number 4 in module number 3, as you know, the title of which is Prize Winners, of course. Here's my lesson, of course, and I'm going to start this lesson with a short activity in which I'm going to test your knowledge. I'm going to provide you with pictures, and as you can see, these are some people, of course, and I will provide you with their names. And I'll ask you to guess the names of those people, of course. I know the pictures are too old. Yeah. Okay, I'll help you. Here's the list of the names, of course. So, we are going to speak about Nikola Tesla, Alexander Graham Bell, Gordon Good, Philo Taylor Farnsworth, William Koch, and Alexander Fleming. So, who is that first man? He is Nikola Tesla. Great. What about the second? The second is Alexander Graham Bell, of course. Yes. Okay, let's move to the second couple of pictures. Here they are. So, we have already dealt with Nikola Tesla and Alexander Graham Bell, as you can see. What about the third? The third is Philo Taylor Farnsworth. Great. And the fourth is going to be Gordon Good. Great. Thank you. Let's move on. Again, we have moved, or we have dealt with 4 till now. The last couple of pictures, much newer, of course. So, these pictures are about William Koch and Alexander Fleming. Great. Thank you. Now, why are we dealing with these people, if you remember? They are very famous. Yes, they are very famous. How? They have made some wonderful achievements, of course. Okay? Do you want to know them? Let's do it together. I'm going to provide you with the list of these 6 names, of course, and with their achievements, of course. And your job is to try to match each person with his achievement. That's it. Great. So, have a look at the list. So, we are speaking about William Koch, Alexander Graham Bell, Gordon Good, Philo Taylor Farnsworth, Nikola Tesla, and Alexander Fleming. And here are their achievements. One of them discovered penicillin. The other invented the kidney dialysis machine. Another one invented the laser. The fourth invented the first electronic television. And the next invented the telephone. Normally we have something, another one. Yes, that's it. We speak about someone who invented the modern radio. Great. Okay, let's start. What did William Koch do? William Koch invented the kidney dialysis machine. Great. And what about the famous Alexander Graham Bell? I think it's easy. Yeah, he invented the telephone. Great. What about Gordon Good? Gordon Good invented the laser. Great. Philo Taylor Farnsworth invented the first electronic television, of course. And finally, or before that, Nikola Tesla invented the modern radio. And finally, Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin in 1928. Great. So, what is the importance of these achievements, of these discoveries, of these inventions? they have done great deal to the humanity. Yes, they have helped the humanity, of course. Of course. So, we are going to discuss now the importance of some. We are not going to discuss all of them, of course, but we are going to concentrate especially on some of them, in which, in this activity, we are going to see the impact or the importance of these inventions, of these discoveries on the humanity, of course. Let's do it together. Here, we are going to provide you, or before that, we are going to provide you with a grid in which, as you can see, we have the verb invent, 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 invent. Yes, for a simple reason, which is, as you can see here, if I go back to the previous picture, of course, we have invented, as you can see here, invented, 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 of course. So we are going to deal with an activity of word derivation about that. Great. So have a look at this. So we have the word invent, which is repeated for 6 times, of course. And I'm going to ask you to look for, or to find out, the simple past tense and the past participle, or the past participle of that verb. A noun, which means something created for the first time through the use of the imagination. And another noun, but this time we are going to speak about one or someone who creates something new. The next word is going to be again another noun, but this time for a woman. Great. A woman who creates something new. And finally, we are going to derive an adjective, which is the synonym of creative. Great. So let's start. What is the simple past tense or the past participle form of the verb to invent? Yes, we all know that to invent is a regular verb, and the simple past tense simply ends with an ed. Great. Now, the noun. Something or the thing which is created for the first time through the use of imagination is, okay, we need 3 letters at the end. We speak about invention. Great. Another noun, but this time for the person. So the person who invents something is an inventor. Great. And if she is a woman, she is going to be an inventress. Okay? What about the adjective? Synonym for creative. It ends with the same letters. So it's very simple. It is going to be inventive. Great. Well done. Okay. Let's move now to see the importance of these achievements on the humanity, of course. And as I said previously, I'm going to concentrate especially on some of those achievements. I will not discuss all of them, of course. And this is going to be done through a fill-in-the-blanks exercise. As you can see here, we have a paragraph containing some blanks. So we are asked, or normally we should be asked to fill in these blanks, and we are going to do that with words from the list, of course. Let's start with the first word. The first word is leave. Leave is a verb. Great. Second, the preposition from. Appeal. And here, I just want to draw your attention to the word appeal, simply because it may be a verb, yes, or it may be a noun. So you have to take that into consideration when dealing with these kinds of exercises. So we have to be careful about the forms of the words. Okay, so here the word appeal can be a noun or a verb. Okay, let's move on. As well, which is used to add things together or to speak about 2 things together. Great. What about the next? Important. Very simple. An adjective. Great. Into. Another preposition. But. And finally, begin, which is a verb, the verb to begin. Yes, in the simple past. Okay, great. Let's have a look at this paragraph together. Technology continues to blossom every second of every day as we discover new aspects to make life more efficient and easier. Communication technologies, blank, in the late 14th century with printing. What do you notice here? We have a sentence which starts with a capital C and which ends with a full stop. What are the two pillars, if I can use the word, of a sentence? In a sentence, we must find a subject, great, and a verb, for sure. So, where is the subject? The subject is communication technologies. Very good. So, what do we need after the subject? Normally, we need a verb. And when we need a verb, of course, we have to be careful about its tense. And in this sentence, we have a time indicator, of course, which is in the late 14th century. So normally, this sentence requires a verb in the simple past tense. Well done. So what is the verb, of course, here? It is going to be began. So communication technologies began in the late 14th century with printing. Newspapers, journals, magazines all grew this development. So, what comes after printing? We speak about newspapers, journals, magazines, yes. And all of these things grew because of, or thanks to, or yes, from this development. Newspapers, journals, magazines all grew from this development. The telegraph in the late 19th century paved the way for not only radio, but the telephone, blank. What can you notice here in this sentence? We have very important expression, which is, as you can see here, the telegraph in the late 19th century paved the way for not only radio. Normally, with not only, what do we use? Not only, but also. Great. So here is the but there is no also. So we have to look for the word which can play the role of also. So in order to have the expression not only but also, or not only but as well. Thank you. Well done. So the sentence is, the telegraph in the late 19th century paved the way for not only radio, but the telephone as well. The telephone has evolved, blank, a major means of communication. So, the telephone which started in the past, of course, now the telephone is the most important means of communication. It is the major means. So there is a shift, there is a transition from an old situation to a new situation, of course. So we can express that movement, we can express that shift by using the expression or the preposition, the telephone has evolved into a major means of communication, especially today with the creation of mobile phones, where almost no one can blank his home without having his cell phone. So what do we need here? After can, normally we need the verb in the base form. Very good. So no one can leave his home without having his cell phone. Let's move on. The radio is a technology that started not only a means of communication, blank, entertainment as well. So what do you notice here? Yes, we have almost done the same thing previously. So the expression here is not only but also, not but also, here we have but as well. So the preposition that we need here is the word but. Radios, blank, was soon taken over by the television, which started a revolution of entertainment and advertising. So, in this blank, or this blank, is preceded by a noun and an apostrophe S. Yes, so what does this S mean? We speak about the possessive s. And it is normally followed by a noun. Great. So we have two words left. The word appeal and the word important. So important is, for sure, an adjective. Okay, so the other possibility, or the only possibility we have here, is the word appeal, which can be a noun, of course. So radio's appeal was soon taken over by the television, which started the revolution of entertainment and advertising. After the television, the computer and the internet evolved as the most. Of course, we need a long adjective after the most in the superlative form. Yes. So, as the most important means of communication, information, and entertainment. Well done. Great. Let's move on now. So, we are going to take two sentences from this paragraph in order to study them together. Are you ready? Okay, let's do that. So, let's discuss the following sentences together. The first one is, the telegraph in the late 19th century paved the way for not only radio, but the telephone as well. The second sentence is, the radio is a technology that started not only a means of communication, but entertainment as well. Great. What do you notice here? What is common between these two sentences? If you look at these two sentences, yes, we have not only, of course, but, and, as well. Well done. The same thing almost happens with the next sentence. So we have not only, but, and, as well. Okay? What are these two expressions? Yes. What do we use them for? Yes, we use them, or not only. Of course, as you can see here, in both sentences we start with not only. Yes. So not only is a cohesive device. Use it to alert the reader or listener. So it depends if we are dealing with a written text or a spoken text, of course. To alert the reader, I said, or the listener, that a second item or example is coming next. Not only this thing, but there is something which is coming next. Yes. And usually it is, or this second item which is coming next is introduced by the words but also or but as well. Okay. Have a look at these two sentences. He is clever. He is hardworking. It would be better to combine these two sentences together. Yes, in order to be more expressive, of course, in order to be more coherent in our speech. So, can you do that? Can you combine these two sentences together? Of course, using the expressions not only, but also, or the new not only, but as well. Okay, can you do that? Well done. So, he is not only clever, but he is also hard working. Or, he is not only clever, but he is hard working as well. Well done. Great. So, notice here the place of not only. In these two sentences, not only comes after he and is. After the subject and the verb. Great. So, not only comes after the subject and the verb. In this case, we maintain the normal order of the subject, which comes the first, and the verb, which comes the second, for sure. But, if not only is used at the beginning of the sentence, before the subject and the verb, there must be some changes. I said at the beginning, not after he is. Not only starts the sentence, or we start the sentence by not only. So there must be some changes, of course. Do you know these changes? Try to complete the sentence. If not only is used at the beginning of the sentence, then the subject and auxiliary, yes, they must be inverted. We speak about a change in the order of the subject and the auxiliary. Pay attention. I did not say the verb. I said the auxiliary. Okay? Great. So, let's combine the following two sentences together. Here's the first one. He's intelligent. And the second is, he is polite. So, I'm going to start the sentence with not only. So, as you can see here, at the very beginning, we have he is. So, the change is, we have is he intelligent. So, we obtain the sentence, not only is he intelligent, but he is also polite. Okay? So, why is this? Simply because is here, okay, is derived from to be, of course. And we all know that to be can be a verb, and at the same time, it is considered as an auxiliary, of course. So simply because we are speaking about auxiliaries here. We are not speaking about verbs. Pay attention to this. Great. Now, what about the following sentences? He put his pen in the electricity socket, and the second, he screamed at me when I tried to stop him. So we are going to start the sentence, or to combine, first of all, to combine these two sentences together. And we are expected to start with not only at the beginning of the sentence. Let's remember, when we use not only at the beginning of the sentence, there must be an inversion of the subject and the auxiliary. Let's look for the subject. Where is the subject? The subject is he. Great. Where is the auxiliary? There is no auxiliary, of course. We have the verb to put. So, in this case, we use the auxiliary to do with all verbs. And the only exception, of course, if we have a verb containing an auxiliary, or if we speak about the verb to be. Simply because, as we said, that to be can be considered as a verb, or it can also be considered as an auxiliary. So, what do we need here? We need the auxiliary to do. Okay, let's do it. So, not only did he put his pen in the electricity socket, but he also screamed at me when I tried to stop him. So, what do you notice here? We used did. Why did? Why not does? Why not do? Simply because the verb put here is in the simple past tense. Great. So, and when we use the auxiliary to do, of course, the auxiliary to do must be put in the tense of this verb, of course. Great. Let's practice again. She speaks French. She also speaks English. So, how can we combine these two sentences? Not only is there any auxiliary here? Of course not. So what do we need? We need the auxiliary to do. In which tense? In the simple present, because, as you can see here, speaks is in the simple present. So we have not only, this is another sentence, of course, that we'll deal with later. So we have not only does she speak French. So as you can see here, the S in speaks disappeared. Where did it go? So it goes to does. Great. So not only does she speak French, but English as well. The second sentence, he went to Australia and Canada. What is the subject? He, the verb went. The verb went, of course, is to go in the simple past. Well done. So what do we need? Not only did. Great. Not only did he go to Australia, but also to Canada, of course. Great. Well done. Now, let's remember the previous or the first pictures we saw together. So, we are speaking about Nikola Tesla, Alexander Graham Bell, Alexander Fleming, Gordon Good, Philo Taylor, Farnsworth, and William Koch. What is common between all of these? So we said that all of them, or each one of them, invented something. Great. So this means that they are inventors. Yes, the noun that we derived earlier from the verb to invent. So all of these are inventors. And all these inventors now are dead. Suppose they were alive. What would you say to them? Of course, bearing in mind their achievements, bearing in mind that they have done something wonderful to the humanity. So normally you are going to express your gratitude to them. Yes, normally you are going to say thank you for them, of course. Now they are alive. How can we express that gratitude? Yes, we can do that by giving them prizes. Thank you very much. So we can give them prizes. So do you know the meaning of a prize? Let's do it together through this paragraph, of course. So let's combine, or let's complete the following definition for prize. Of course, as you can see here, in this paragraph we have blanks, and we are going to fill in these blanks with the right tense and form, of course, of the bracketed words. So a prize is an award, blank, from the verb to give, to a person or group of people. So here we have an award, and an award is a noun, and the noun is described by an adjective, of course. So the adjective from give. So the award does not do the action, but rather receives the action. So a prize is an award given. We need the past participle, of course, to a person. So it is given, or an award given to a person or a group of people to recognize and reward actions or the verb achieve. So actions is a noun, of course, in the plural, and we have or. Normally we need another noun, of course. So actions or achievements. Great. Official prizes often involve monetary rewards as well as the fame that comes with them. Some prizes are also associated with exaggerated awarding ceremonies, such as the Oscars. Prizes, the verb to give, for a number of reasons. So what do we need here? We need a verb. In which tense? Yes, it is a descriptive sentence, so we need a verb in the simple present. Great. But in which form here? Yes, in the passive form, because prizes do not give, but prizes are, yes, are given. So prizes are given for a number of reasons, to highlight, as an example, of course, to highlight noteworthy or exemplary behavior, and to provide incentives in competitions. In general, prizes are regarded in a positive light, and their winners are admired, of course. Do you know some examples of prizes in the world? Yeah, the famous one is the Nobel Prize, of course. Do you know any others? Okay, have a look at these examples. So, I'm going to provide you with paragraphs, short paragraphs, and each paragraph deals with one prize. And here are the names of the prizes, of course. So we are going to deal with 6 paragraphs, and we have 6 names of prizes. So the first one is the Nobel Prize in Medicine, the FIFA World Player of the Year, the African Airline of the Year Award, the World Food Prize, and the Ansari X Prize. Finally, the Neustadt Prize for Children's Literature. So, let's do this matching together. The first one, we are going to speak about certain prize, which is an association football award. Okay, we are speaking about football, so normally it is going to be the the FIFA World Player of the Year. So, the first one is done. Let's move to the second. We speak about the African Aviation Journal introduced. So there is an important word here, which is aviation. Yes, so normally we are going to speak about the African Airline of the Year Award. So the African Aviation Journal introduced the African Airline of the Year Award in 1999 to give international recognition to individuals, and this is one of the most important reasons for giving prizes, of course, which is to recognize individuals or groups of people who have done something exceptional, of course. What about the third? So we are speaking about a certain prize which is intended to enhance the quality of children's literature. Of course, so we are going to speak about the Neustadt Prize for Children's Literature, of course. Great. Let's move on to the next series. So we have done with these 3 ones, and we have 3 prizes left. Here's the 2 paragraphs. The X Prize Foundation. Of course, we are speaking about the Ansari X Prize, of course. So, the X Prize Foundation sought to bring about the Ansari X Prize as a radical breakthrough in the advancement of human space flight, the aim being to open up the space frontier, of course. Let's move on. The next prize is an international award recognizing the achievements of individuals who have improved the quality, quantity, or availability of what? Of food in the world. So, automatically, we are going to speak about the World Food Prize, of course. So, here is the World Food Prize. And the last prize, of course, is going to be, for sure, we have only one left, which is the Nobel Prize in Medicine, of course, which is awarded once a year by the Swedish Karolinska Institute. It is one of the 5 Nobel Prizes established by the will of Alfred Nobel in 1895, awarded for outstanding contributions in medicine since 1901. Great. So, I'm going to refer you back to the first activity almost in this lesson, of course, if you remember. And here is the activity, of course. As we are speaking about the people, or the 6 people, or the 6 inventors who have done something wonderful, of course. So, among them, I'm speaking about William Koch, Alexander Graham Bell, Gordon Good, Philo Taylor Farnsworth, Nikola Tesla, and Alexander Fleming. Who is the only one who received the Nobel Prize in medicine, of course? So we are speaking about Nobel Prize in medicine. So it cannot be the one who invented the modern radio, of course. So we are speaking about someone who discovered the penicillin, yes. So we are speaking about this man. We are speaking about Alexander Fleming, of course. Do you know him? Let's have a look at this paragraph in order to get more information about Alexander Fleming, of course. So in this paragraph, you are going to be asked to fill in the blanks with the right form or tense or form and tense of the verbs, of course, to get more information about Alexander Fleming. Can we do that together? Alexander Fleming is famous for discovering the useful of penicillin as an antibacterial agent. So what do we have here? So we have the, and after the, normally we need a noun, of course. The noun from useful is rather usefulness. Great. Raised in rural Scotland, he moved to London in his teens and worked as a shipping clerk. He earned his medical degree in 1906 from St. Mary's Medical School, where he, the verb, spent his career. So normally we have he as a subject, so we need a verb. And the verb must be put in a certain tense, of course. And the tense here, we're speaking about the early 1900s, so where he spent, of course, the simple past tense. A researcher in the area of antibacterial substances, he discovered a natural protein with bacteria kill properties. What is this? All this is a noun phrase. Great. Composed of the noun, which is properties, and the thing which describes the noun is an adjective. Great. So, and as you can see here, there is a hyphen. So these two words are linked together. So what do we need? So we need a compound adjective. Great. So we speak about properties that kill bacteria. Great. So in this case, what do we need? What do we need? I'm sorry. So we need the present participle, the ing form, yes, to speak about something or a noun which does the action, of course. So here, the properties of this protein, of course, kill bacteria. So we need a bacteria killing properties that he named lysosome. In his lab in 1928, Fleming discovered the bacteria-resisting substance. So as you can see here, it is almost the same thing. A bacteria killing properties, or bacteria killing properties, or bacteria resisting substance, the same form almost. In his lab in 1928, Fleming discovered the bacteria-resisting substance that he later identified as Penicillium notatum, and published his findings in 1929, naming the substance penicillin. Fleming's chemistry skills were too inadequate to exploit his findings. What does this sentence mean? The sentence means that the skills, or the chemistry skills of Fleming, of Alexander Fleming, are not adequate. Yes, are too inadequate. This means that later he could not exploit his findings. So this idea can be expressed using the expressions too. Great. So here we can find to exploit. So we repeat, Fleming's chemistry skills were too inadequate to exploit his findings. But years later, penicillin, verb to develop, by Howard Florey and Ernest Chain. We have the preposition by, and penicillin is the subject. So, and we have the time indicator years later. So it is the simple past plus by, which gives us the passive form, of course. So we will obtain penicillin was developed by Howard Florey and Ernest Chain into the first significant antibiotic. Fleming was knighted in 1944, and in 1945 he, the same thing, the Nobel Prize. He, the verb award, and to award means to give an award. So here we are speaking about Fleming. Fleming did not give, but rather he received, or he was awarded the Nobel Prize in medicine, of course. As far as the Nobel Prize is concerned, do you have any idea about it? You know, Alfred Nobel. Great. What about the prize itself? I'm not speaking about the person. Okay, let's discuss this together. So, have a look at this paragraph in order to know more about the Nobel Prize, of course, or Nobel Prizes, as we can see later, of course. We are going to deal with this paragraph in a reading comprehension activity. So, what I want you to do is to read the following passage about Nobel Prize and try to find out the two exceptions mentioned in it. What do I mean by two exceptions? The writer of this paragraph is going to speak about two things. He is going to concentrate on two particular things. But within each one, he is going to say something exceptional about that specific thing. Okay? So, have a look at this paragraph and try to pick out these two exceptions. The Nobel Prize was established in Alfred Nobel's will in 1895. And it was first awarded in physics, chemistry, medicine, literature, and peace in 1901. An associated prize, the prize in economic sciences, was first awarded by Sweden's central bank in 1969. The Nobel Prizes in the specific disciplines are widely regarded as the most prestigious award one can receive in those fields. With the exception of the Nobel Peace Prize, the Nobel Prizes are presented in Stockholm, in Sweden of course, at the annual prize award ceremony on December the 10th, which is the anniversary of Nobel's death. The Nobel Peace Prize is presented at the annual prize award ceremony in Oslo, in Norway, also on December the 10th. Since the Nobel Prize is regarded as the most prestigious prize in the world, the award ceremonies on the 10th of December have been transformed from local Swedish and Norwegian arrangements into major international events that receive worldwide coverage by the print, media, radio, and television. Great. Now, what are the two exceptions? I'm going to help you with these two questions. When were the prizes first awarded? And where are the prizes presented? So, have a look again very quickly at this paragraph. So we are speaking about, first of all, the date, which is 1901, in which the first prizes in physics, chemistry, medicine, literature, and peace were awarded. And then the first prize in economic sciences was awarded in 1969. So that is the first exception, of course. And the second exception, we are speaking about the place. So the Nobel Peace Prize, here we are speaking about with the exception of the Nobel Peace Prize, of course. The other prizes are given in, yes, in Stockholm, in Sweden, while the Nobel Peace Prize is presented in Oslo, in Norway. Well done. So the two sentences or the two answers. It was first of all awarded in physics, chemistry, medicine, literature, and peace in 1901. The exception here, we are speaking about the prize in economic sciences, which was first awarded by Sweden's central bank in 1969. So the Nobel Prizes are presented in Stockholm, Sweden, with the exception of the Nobel Peace Prize, which is presented at the annual prize award ceremony in Oslo, Norway. Great. Let's move to the second question. The following statement, as you can see, is false. I just want you to correct it with a detail from the paragraph, of course. Have a look at this sentence. The sentence says, the award ceremonies are some local Swedish and Norwegian arrangements with no reputation in the world. So this sentence, of course, is false, and the correction of it from the text is, the award ceremonies have been transformed from local Swedish and Norwegian arrangements into major international events that receive worldwide coverage by the print media, radio, and television. Great. So, very quickly, I just want you to find out or to pick out three words from the text meaning the following. We need an adjective, something which is bringing good reputation. A word which is repeated twice, of course, prestigious. The second, we speak about a legal document in which somebody states to whom they want their property and money to be given after their death. And of course here we speak about the will. The third word is, again, an adjective, something which happens once a year, is an annual thing, of course. Great. So, we are speaking about the Nobel Prize, but do you know the man behind this prize? So, here is his picture, of course, and we are speaking about Alfred Nobel. Okay, and Alfred Nobel was born on the 21st of October 1833 in Stockholm, Sweden, of course, and he died in San Remo in Italy on the 10th of December 1896. What do you know about this man? Apart from being responsible for the Nobel Prize, of course. Have a look at this picture. What could be the relationship between the two? Yes, Alfred Nobel was the inventor of dynamite. So, as you can see, we are moving from the extremity to the next, to the other extremity, from inventing dynamite to being responsible for giving prizes, and the most famous prize in the world, of course, which is Nobel Prize, of course. Now, we have a short paragraph about Alfred Nobel, of course. His full name is Alfred Bernhard Nobel, was a Swedish chemist, engineer, armaments manufacturer, and the inventor of dynamite, of course. He owned Bofors, a major armaments manufacturer, which he had redirected from its previous role as an iron and steel mill. In his last will, he used his enormous fortune to set up the Nobel Prize. The erroneous publication in 1888 of Nobel's death by a French newspaper condemning him for his invention of dynamite is said to have brought about his decision to leave a better legacy after his death. The publication stated, "The merchant of death is dead," and went on to say, "Dr. Alfred Nobel, who became rich by finding ways to kill more people faster than ever before, died yesterday." On November the 27th, 1895, at the Swedish-Norwegian Club in Paris, Nobel signed his last will and set aside the bulk of his estate to establish the Nobel Prizes, to be awarded annually without distinction of nationality. He died of a stroke on December the 10th, 1896 at San Remo in Italy, and Alfred Nobel was buried in Stockholm. He left about $104 million to fund the prizes. Dear pupils, here we come to the end of our lesson. I hope I have been of some kind of help, of course, and I wish to see you soon.